Saxon Math, Intermediate 5. This is lesson 35. It's word problems about comparing and elapsed time. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, here we go. I hope you guys are having a good day today. We're going to start with our mental math like always. So go ahead and write these problems down in your notebook and then go ahead and solve them. When you're ready, come back and push play. All right, welcome back. Here we go. Today we're going to work on this problem together. It says Monterlin has a pet dog and a pet cat. Together, the two animals weigh 42 pounds. The dog weighs 14 pounds more than the cat. How much does each pet weigh? All right, remember the first thing that we need to do when we're solving a problem is we need to understand the information that we're given. So what information are we given here in this problem? We are given some good information. We are given the information that she has a pet dog, that she has a pet cat, that together they weigh 42 pounds, and that the dog weighs 14 pounds more than the cat. So now we need to know, what are we asked to do in this problem? What is our goal? Our goal is to find out how much does each pet weigh. All right, that's what we're working on. That's our goal. All right, so what kind of plan could we use to solve this problem? To use this problem, or to solve this problem, we are going to use guess and check. All right, we're going to use some guess and check to figure out how much each pet weighs. All right, so guess and check is our method of solving the problem. Let's go ahead and solve together. What is the sum of the two weights that we are looking for? What are the sum of the two weights that we are looking for? Well, the sum is going to be what? 42 pounds, right? Because that is our end weight. We know together they equal 42 pounds. And the difference is going to be 14 pounds. So if at a starting point we pretend that the pets weigh the same amount. Okay, let's pretend that the pets weigh the same amount. If each pet weighed the same amount, what would their weights be? Well, to figure that out, we would have to divide 42 in half, right? And we would get 21. If both pets weighed the same, each one would be 21, and that would give us 42, right? Half of 42 is 21 pounds. How could we use the halfway amount of 21 pounds to help us guess the weight of each pet? Well, we could increase and decrease by 1 pound, so 22 and 20, and have a difference of 2 pounds. If we increase or decrease by 2 pounds, then the guesses would be 23 and 19, and we would have a difference of 4 pounds, right? If we increase and decrease 2 on each side, we would have a difference of 4 pounds. We can notice that the difference is double the amount we increase or decrease. So we could try increasing and decreasing by 7, because 7 is half of 14, and we know, remember, that the dog weighs 14 more pounds than the cat. So if we decrease, if we take 7 away from 21, what do we get? Right, we get 14, right? 14. So we get 14 pounds. All right, if we get 14 pounds here, and that was if we're taking away, right? And if we add 7, okay, if we add 7 on this side, we'll just cheat our little system here and just put the add. And 21 plus 7, and that gives us what? 32, right? Nope, 28. Sorry, 28, right? So 28. So now we need to see, we can check our work and we could see if 28 is 14 more pounds than 14, and we know that's true. So now we need to add and see if 14 plus 28 equals our sum. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a 2, and we carry the 1, and then we 1 plus 3 plus 1, and so we get 42. All right, so then we've checked our work, and that's the last step of our problem solving. Okay, so all we did is guess and check. We started at a midpoint, and then we added and subtracted half of the amount to get our final answer, and we double checked our answer by using some addition, and there we go. All right, but today we are focusing on a new concept, and our new concept is this: numbers are used to describe the quantity of objects. For example, 7 different containers are on a loading dock awaiting shipment, and we know that 7 is a number, and 7 is describing the quantity of objects. In this case, the objects are containers. Numbers are used to describe the size of objects. Okay, so the heaviest container weighs 245 pounds. Okay, it's telling us the heaviest, the size of it, what it weighs. And some word problems compare numbers of objects or sizes of objects. So the containers range in weight. So here we have a comparing word, range in weight from, another good comparing word, 245 pounds to, another comparing word, 160 pounds. The heaviest container weighs how many more? Okay, it's asking us how many more, so we're going to compare them. How many more pounds than the lightest container? So we can use numbers to describe the amount of something, and also we can use numbers to help us describe the weight or the height or describe an object. Okay? Comparison problems. One number is larger and another number is smaller in comparison problems, and we can draw a sketch to help us understand. A comparison problem may be solved by using subtraction formula. Larger minus smaller equals the difference. Here's example 1. Let's work on it together. Mel is 6 years younger than his brother Cleon. Mel is 11 years old. How old is Cleon? Let's see. Mel is 6 years younger, but we know that Mel is 11. So what do we need to do? Well, we know that we can draw shapes. Remember, it told us we can draw some shapes to help us understand our problem. So even if you think you already know how to solve the problem, what I want you to be doing in your notebook is following along and doing what I'm doing to help you understand the problem in a different way. Okay, so first we're going to draw, ignore that one. Let me erase that. It went all by itself. There we go. Okay, we're going to draw a rectangle shape. Okay, and we're going to make it kind of long on our paper. There's our rectangle. This is going to represent Cleon. Okay, Cleon. He's taller. Okay, so he's going to be our tall rectangle. Then we need to draw a circle inside our rectangle. Okay, that circle is containing our question because that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a question mark in that circle there. Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out is how old he is. Okay, now we also know that Mel is 6 years younger. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw a smaller rectangle to represent Mel. Okay, so here's our smaller rectangle. Okay, and we know that he is 6 years younger. So we're going to put a little circle here. And we're going to put some lines. And we're going to show the difference by using these shapes. Okay, so here's the difference. And we're going to put the number 6 in our circle. Okay. I'll make that a little smaller. We'll move it up a little bit. There we go. All right, so there's the difference. I'm going to put a line here at the top just to make it look nice. This is the difference between Mel and Cleon, right? And we know that Mel is how old? We know that Mel is 11 years old. Okay, so we're going to put our circle here. And then we're going to put 11 inside the circle because we already know he's 11. Let me make that a little smaller so it'll fit in there. Okay, there's our 11. Okay, now the difference is how much older or younger are they, right? That's what we know. The difference is 6. So we're going to type over here and we're going to say the difference how much older or younger. How much older or younger. And we know that this one down here is Mel, but we'll put his name just in case. We don't forget. Would cooperate with me. All right, and we know that this is our boy Cleon over here, which is a weird name I've never heard before, but this book is good at weird names. All right, Cleon. All right, so now from the story, we know that Mel is 11 and the difference between their age is 6 years. We write the numbers in the circles and use the subtraction pattern to solve the problem. So we're going to take the larger number, which we don't know what it is, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw a line. And we're going to say, here's our larger mystery number, right? And then we're going to subtract the 11 because we know that is our age of Mel. Okay, so on this line, we're going to write 11. Okay, and then we're going to figure out what they are equal to. We know our difference, our answer, oops, that's kind of messy, but you get the idea. Our difference is what? Is 6, right? We already have that number up here. So now we just need to add it to our equation. Okay, so now we know something minus 11 equals 6. Well, what could we do to figure it out? We find the first number of a subtraction problem by adding. Okay, so we could say 6 plus 11. 6 plus 11 is going to give us our missing number. So what is 6 plus 11? 6 plus 11 is 17, right? So we know that Cleon is 17 years old. Okay, and that's our answer. Cleon is 17 years old. All right, so see how we use shapes to help us keep track of what's going on in our comparing problem and to help us figure out how to write our equation. Let's go down to elapsed time. Elapsed time we talked about a little bit before, but let's review. Sorry about that. Elapsed time is the amount of time between 2 points of time. So we have the earlier time and the later time, and the time in between is the elapsed time. Just like when we do our math in class and we start the timer, that's the earlier time. And then the time you finish is the later time. And the elapsed time is the time it took you to do your math. So you can use that same kind of subtraction formula to determine the elapsed time. You can use the later time because it's bigger, minus the earlier time, and get the elapsed time, or the difference between the two times. That's how we figure out the elapsed time. So here we go. How many years, okay, this is talking time, even though it's talking years, okay, because years is a way of measuring a lot of time, right? The passing of a lot of years is the passing of very much time. How many years were there from 1492 to 1620? Now you'll remember from what I just said that we can use that equation to help us figure it out. So we're going to take the later number, 1620, and we're going to subtract the earlier number, the earlier amount of time, 1492, and that will give us our elapsed time. Okay, you could write it out the other way if that makes it easier for you to do the math. 1620, if your computer will work with you or your pencil will work with you, that would be better. 1620 minus 1492, and you could do your equation that way. Okay, that's just fine. Might make your subtraction a little bit simpler, right? So when you do that, either way, you're going to figure out what your elapsed time is, and your elapsed time in this case is 128. All right, so if you did your subtraction, you would come up with the answer of 128 years. Okay, and you could always go back and check your answer by using the reverse order of operations and adding. Okay, so that is how you can figure out elapsed time. You subtract the latest time, but you subtract the earliest time from the latest time, and then you get your elapsed time. All right, let's try another example together. A school day at Edison School begins at 8:10 a.m. The school day ends at 3:15 p.m. What is the length of a school day at Edison School? All right, so again, you need to take your larger number, which is your later point in the day, in this case, so 3:15, and you're going to subtract your earlier number, your earlier hour. Okay, it looks like a bigger number, right? Because 8 seems bigger than 3, but we know that 3 in the afternoon is later than 8 in the morning. So then you're going to do like that, and you're going to draw a nice line and do subtraction. Okay, so here's our subtraction. Okay, so if you bring the 5 down, right, because 5 minus 0 is 5. Easy enough, right? And 1 minus 1 is 0. We're going to move this box over a little bit so it stays lined up. Okay, and then 3 minus 8. What could we do there? Well, that makes it really tricky, right? It's hard to do that because we don't have anything over here that we can borrow from. So what we need to do is we need to change 3:15 to military time, which in military time it would be 15:15, right? And then we would minus our 8. We got to keep those minutes lined up. 8:10, right? Now we can do it much easier. And to get the military time, all you need to do is add 2 to whatever the hour is and then put a 1 in front of it. Okay, add a tens place. So that's how you get the military time. So if it was 4:15, then it would be 1600 hours. If it was, or 16:15. If it was 5:15, it would be 17:15. Okay, you just always add 2. That's the easiest way to figure it out. All right, let's draw a line and do our subtraction now that we have it lined up nicely and we can do our work better. So we already know this back part, right, because we did it before. So we have 5 here, and on the other side of the 5 we had 0, and on the other side of the 0 we need to have the colon to show that it's minutes that we're talking about. Remember, we want to keep our work nice and lined up so we don't end up with a different hour or a different time. Okay, now 8 from 15 and we get 7. Much easier to deal with, right? 8 from 15 is 7. So we know that a school day at Edison School is 7 hours and 5 minutes. Okay, that's how long they're in school at Edison School. All right. Good job. Lesson practice. There were 4 more boys than girls in class. If there were 17 boys in class, how many girls were there? Well, remember, we need to use the subtraction equation that we learned to figure out, right? So we know that there were 4 more boys than girls. So let's draw some shapes to represent our girls and boys, right? We're only going to do this one together, and then you'll do the rest of them on your own. So let's draw our rectangle, and our taller rectangle is going to be the boys because there's 4 more. And our smaller rectangle is going to be the girls, not too much smaller because it's only 4 different, right? And we know that our total is 17. So what we want to do is we want to add our circle shapes, right? We know that there is a 4 up here, okay? I don't really have room to write that very well, but let's see if I can do that a little bit better. Okay, let me grab my circle shape again. I'm going to write on top of the words to make it fit. Okay, so here we go with our circle. We're going to put the number 4 in there because there's 4 more, right? And then we know that there are 17 total. So let's put the 17 over here. Okay, and we want to figure out how many girls there are. So that's our mystery one. So let's add a circle there. And that's where we're going to put our question mark because we don't know how many girls there were. Okay, so there's our question mark inside our circle. Okay, so here we have some numbers. We don't have any numbers over here in the boys, but we know that there were 4 more. Okay, so now we need to do, oops, my screen is moving by itself. Now we need to write our equation. Let me try to move this again. No. Okay, So we know that if we get 17, because that's our total, right? And we're going to subtract our mystery number, and then we're going to find out that it equals 4, right? And we said that the way to figure that out is to do what? We need to do 4, or 17, sorry, minus, sorry. Let's just figure it out. It's easy. 17 minus, we can just see it, 13 equals 4. So we know that there were 13 girls in the class. Okay? And then we know that there were 17 boys, and that's where that should have been. That's what was, there we go, 17 boys. There we go. All right. Got it? All right, so go ahead and do those other two by yourself. And then when you're ready, come on back and push play. We're going to skip over these ones because I think you got it. And your homework is pages 220 to 221, numbers 1 through 30, but the even numbers only. So starting at number 2 and doing the even numbers only. All right, have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.